As Thanksgiving approaches, the Russia investigation is looming large. The president says he's close to submitting his written answers to special counsel Robert Mueller, even as he continues his attacks against the investigation. And in a new interview on Fox News, the president is lashing out at some new targets. This morning, President Trump defiant as the special counsel investigation ramps up, saying during an interview with Fox News on Sunday he would not overrule his acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker if he decides to curtail the special counsel investigation into Russian meddling.
It's going to be up to him. I think he's very well aware politically. I would not get involved.
Whitaker has faced calls from Democrats to recuse himself for criticizing the Mueller investigation in the past. But Mr. Trump insists he was unaware of Whitaker's past statements.
I did not know he took views on the Mueller investigation as such.
And as for an in-person interview with Robert Mueller, the president saying it's unlikely that will happen.
Probably. I mean, I can change my mind, but probably. I think we've wasted enough time on this witch hunt.
Mr. Trump saying he's completed written answers to questions for Mueller and is expected to submit them by Thanksgiving. A source familiar with the process tells NBC News.
We gave very, very complete answers to a lot of questions that I shouldn't have even been asked.
And the president was pressed after several news outlets, including NBC News, reported the CIA has concluded the Saudi crown prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. The crown prince has publicly denied involvement. So does the president believe him?
I don't know. You know, who can really know? But I can say this. He's got many people now that say he had no knowledge. He told me that he had nothing to do with it. He told me that, I would say, maybe 5 times.
And the president took aim at retired Admiral William McRaven, who oversaw the 2011 raid that killed Osama bin Laden, after McRaven criticized Mr. Trump's leadership.
Hillary Clinton fan.
Special operations.
Excuse me, Hillary Clinton fan.
McRaven, while critical of Mr. Trump, never endorsed anyone for president. But the president went even further with this eyebrow-raising attack.
It would have been nice if we got Osama bin Laden a lot sooner than that. Wouldn't it have been nice?
Kristen, the president was also on Twitter this weekend and had a tweet about a congressman who is likely going to become the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and it certainly raised some eyebrows.
It is raising some eyebrows, Savannah. The president is taking aim at Congressman Adam Schiff in a profane tweet, referring to him as Little Adam and then misspelling his last name as an expletive. The president's tweet goes on to slam Schiff for criticizing the appointment of acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Schiff fired back in his own tweet, "Wow, Mr. President, that's a good one. Was that like your answers to Mr. Mueller's questions, or did you write this one yourself?" Now, Schiff, who, as you mentioned, Savannah, will likely become the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, has signaled his committee will investigate a range of issues related to the Trump administration. We did reach out to the White House for clarification on the misspelling of Schiff's last name. So far, no response. Savannah and Hoda.
Well, with the taunting back and forth, looks like we're back in 4th grade, Kristen.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.